Hi everyone, this week I'll introduce you to the guys that are starting up the North American Building Compliance Testing Association. This is in partnership with the folks from ATTMA in the UK.
All right, well, we are at the IBEC conference here in Orlando, Florida. With me here is Mr. Barry Cope from ATTMA, all the way in from the UK. Barry, what brings you here with us this week?
So we're here with our new venture, which is North American BCTA. So BCTA is the Building Compliance Testers Association, which is a deliberate offshoot of what we've been doing in the UK. BCTA is a group of companies, it's a family of smaller companies that provide membership services, well not membership services, but competent person schemes for different industries. So my one is ATTMA, Air Tightness Testing and Measurement Association, and I'm here over to support Eliot, who you'll see in a bit, I'm sure, help get that set up.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing in the UK. I know you guys have spread over to Australia as well to help support that industry too. So
yeah,
and all this data that you guys have collected as well.
Yeah, so ATTMA is the Air Tightness Testing and Measurement Association. So we're one of the leading, if not the leading governing body for air tightness testing in the world, which is, still to this day it blows my mind as we started as a very small company. But I think the ethos of what we do has allowed us to grow. We're always about doing the right thing, even if it's not the profitable thing. It's really important for that. So I guess one of the things we are most well known for is the ATTMA lodgement system. The lodgement system is the way we collect data. So when you're a member of ATTMA, it's mandatory that you send your data to our systems. We do over 1,000 checks on that data, and then we issue back the member with a certificate for that test. That certificate has a QR code on it, which allows the building inspector, the building codes guys to check the validity of that certificate. In doing so, we collect a huge amount of data, as you said, and that data allows us to look at weird and wonderful building trends. So we can look at if a particular house type with a particular level of insulation performs better, or we can see if the average air leakage in a particular region is climbing. So we can say, hey, that's not good. Let's investigate what's happening. So the data, there's so much data we don't know what to do with. We're now on 1.1 million tests, which is nearly 1 billion data points that we have on air leakage testing. And because of that, because of our lodgement system, which we've invested heavily in, it allowed us to help the guys out in Australia and New Zealand. They came to us hoping that they could replicate what we do, and we supported them. And it meant I got a few free trips to Australia, which is never a bad thing.
Never hurts.
Never hurts.
Yeah.
So we helped them out, and that's kind of how we've arrived back at the kind of original question, how we've arrived back at the IBEC conference in Orlando is we're helping out what we're now calling North America BCTA to do the same thing, to get those, improve those standards of testing in not just the USA, but Canada as well.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing where we've been lacking here in North America. We don't really have a transparent database to see what's going on and what's working and what isn't. So this will be a really nice addition. It sounds like you have a few companies that you're starting to work with already that are getting pretty excited about this. It sounds like you guys have some training opportunities coming up soon too, right?
Yeah, a big part of what we do in the ATTMA Competent Person Scheme, it's not just about the test. We have a really substantial approved training partner network. So what we do is we don't just accept, you can't become a member of ATTMA from any old training and suddenly you're an ATTMA member. We don't work like that. You have to be able to demonstrate competence. And one of the ways of doing that, or one of the smoother ways of doing that, is to sit on an ATTMA approved training course. But we don't have any of those in the US. So what we're starting to do now is we're coming to the US to implement or to audit those courses that are already being run and hopefully give them the blue tick, as it were, and they can become ATTMA approved training partners. And then we're doing, from that, we'll do a train the trainer. So those people that are already doing the training can train other trainers, and therefore we create a network where you're never more than a few hundred miles away from your nearest ATTMA approved training course, and that's super important. So we're kickstart that first one. I believe it's going to be second week in May. And we're really excited about it, to come over and train. I think it's going to be Texas A&M University for the first one, and then it's going to explode so quickly. We'll be in Canada very quickly after that, and then New York.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds like something that the industry has really been in need of, especially as new testers come in. Education is always needed. So for any companies that are looking to participate with you guys, what's the next step for them? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, next step, I guess, is you can contact me directly. So that's by email, barry@attma.org, or you can contact Eliot Benor, who you'll find on LinkedIn very quickly just by searching air tightness. He's kind of the leader, as you see on LinkedIn. He's absolutely out there. So Eliot is definitely a contact to speak to if you're on American time. But definitely give me a call or drop me an email, and we can give you those details.
Well, Barry, I'm excited to see what you guys do here in the near future, and thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting the U.S. industry, and good chatting with you as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, speaking of Eliot, here he is. He's here in Orlando with us at IBEC. So, Eliot, how did you get tied up with ATTMA, and what are your plans for kind of taking this on?
So Barry and I met online, like a lot of people do these days, on LinkedIn a few years back. And we started talking, and the more I found out about ATTMA and the BCTA program in general, the more I liked it. I felt that there was a real need in North America for a truly independent third-party education, certification, and validation group that would take on the role of training people to do blower door testing, take on the role of educating people who audit those people doing training, and then monitoring the testers as they do testing, and periodically to make sure that they keep up with their training and education. And ATTMA ticked off so many boxes that it was just a natural for us. I think it's important for it not to fall on just the manufacturers to do everything. We want them to spend their time building great equipment, which they do. And I think that we, as an industry, need to help bear the burden of training. And that's part of why we're doing this, is I don't think it should fall on you guys to do all the training, and there's a cost to it. And we're hoping that through membership, we can put together a great program that'll really benefit the industry, benefit consumers, and benefit everyone.
Yeah, and I think the timing is good too, because as states keep coming on with codes, it's becoming more and more in demand, and it's, for some states it's a new thing. So there needs to be some more educational resources for this. You're located in New York.
Yes.
I've followed you on LinkedIn here for a couple of years now, I think, and you guys do some pretty impressive tests. So you seem to be well suited for the job here to take this on.
Yes, thank you for that, Sam. We do, but unfortunately we don't do as many blower door tests as you would think we would in the largest city in the world. And part of that is just enforcement. People aren't knowledgeable about how to judge whether or not a blower door test should be done. Is it being done correctly? And that's part of the outreach that we hope to provide, is to building code officials and inspectors and commissioning agents, for them to feel more comfortable with blower door testing and whole building air tightness testing, so that they feel more confident in making sure that the code is enforced.
Oh, that's great. So, Eliot, for anybody that's here in the U.S. that is curious about this, wants to get involved, how do they get a hold of you?
NABCTA.org or ATTMA.org. And we are just establishing our group since maybe the past 60 days. We will be opening up the membership portal in a couple of weeks and hope to do our first training in May. Please stay tuned for that. I promise it will get there, but you're just going to have to give us a couple of more days, because there's just been so much going on preparing for this event and a few others, and we're almost there.
Well, I'm excited, looking forward to work with you and support you guys through your training efforts, and thanks for chatting.
Thank you, Sam.
For
it was
sure.
a pleasure.
And yes, those were authentic Retrotec sunglasses that Eliot had on. That's something new that we've had at our trade show booth this year, so if you see us on the road, come by, say hello, pick you up a pair. Some other companies that'll be starting up the North American BCTA is QED Lab out of Oregon and 06 Consulting out of Texas. I got to catch up with those guys as well. Thanks for the gear. And we'll catch you back here again next week as we dive back into some more technical topics. Thanks for watching.